You Don't Know What Love Is by Raymond Carver. You don't know what love is. An evening with Charles Bukowski. You don't know what love is, Bukowski said. I'm 51 years old. Look at me. I'm in love with this young broad. I got it bad, but she's hung up too, so it's all right, man. That's the way it should be. I get in their blood and they can't get me out. They try everything to get away from me, but they all come back in the end. They all come back to me, except the one I planted. I cried over that one, but I cried easy in those days. Don't let me get on to the hard stuff, man. I get mean then. I could sit here and drink beer with you hippies all night. I could drink 10 quarts of this beer and it's nothing. It's like water. But let me get on to the hard stuff, and I'll start throwing people out of windows. I'll throw anybody out of the window. I've done it. But you don't know what love is. You don't know because you've never been in love. It's that simple. I got this young broad. See, she's beautiful. She calls me Bukowski. Bukowski, she says in this little voice. And I say, what? But you don't know what love is. I'm telling you what it is, but you aren't listening. There isn't one of you in this room would recognize love if it stepped up and buggered you in the ass. I used to think poetry readings were a cop-out. Look, I'm 51 years old, and I've been around. I know they're a cop-out. But I said to myself, Bukowski, starving is even more of a cop-out. So there you are, and nothing is like it should be. That fellow, what's his name, Galway Canal? I saw his picture in a magazine. He has a handsome mug on him, but he's a teacher. Christ, can you imagine? But then you're teachers, too. Here I am insulting you already. No, I haven't heard of him or him either. They're all termites. Maybe it's ego. I don't read much anymore. But these people who build reputations on 5 or 6 books, termites. Bukowski, she says. Why do you listen to classical music all day? Can't you hear her saying that? Bukowski. Why do you listen to classical music all day? That surprises you, doesn't it? You wouldn't think a crude bastard like me could listen to classical music all day. Brahms, Rachmaninoff, Bartok, Telemann. Shit, I couldn't write up here. Too quiet up here. Too many trees. I like the city. That's the place for me. I put on my classical music each morning and sit down in front of my typewriter. I light a cigar and I smoke it like this, see? And I say, Bukowski, you're a lucky man. Bukowski, you've gone through it all, and you're a lucky man. And the blue smoke drifts across the table, and I look out the window onto Delong Prairie Avenue, and I see people walking up and down the sidewalk, and I puff on the cigar like this, and I lay the cigar in the ashtray like this, and I take deep breaths, and I begin to write. Bukowski, this is the life, I say. It's good to be poor. It's good to have hemorrhoids. It's good to be in love. But you don't know what that's like. You don't know what it's like to be in love. If you could see her, you'd know what I mean. She thought I'd come up here and get laid. She just knew it. She told me she knew it. Shit, I'm 51 years old, and she's 25, and we're in love, and she's jealous. Jesus, it's beautiful. She said she'd claw my eyes out if I came up here and got laid. Now that's love for you. What do any of you know about it? Let me tell you something. I've met men in jail who had more style than the people who hang around colleges and go to poetry readings. They're bloodsuckers who've come to see if the poet's socks are dirty or if he smells under the arm. Believe me, I won't disappoint him, but I want you to remember this. There's only one poet in this room tonight, only one poet in this town tonight, maybe only one real poet in this country tonight, and that's me. What any of you know about life? What any of you know about anything? Which of you has ever been fired from a job or else been beaten up your broad? Or else has been beaten up by your broad. I was fired from Sears and Roebuck 5 times. They'd fire me and then hire me back again. I was a stock boy for them when I was 35 and got canned for stealing cookies. I know what it's like. I've been there. I'm 51 years old now. I'm in love. And this little broad, she says, Bukowski. And I say, what? And she says, I think you're full of shit. And I say, baby, you understand me. She's the only broad in the world, man or woman, I'd take that from. But you don't know what love is. They all come back to me at the end, too. Every one of them came back, every one except the one I told you about, the one I planted. We were together 7 years. We used to drink a lot. I see a lot of typers in this room, but I don't see any poets. I'm not surprised. You have to be in love to write poetry, and you don't know what it is to be in love. That's your trouble. Give me some of that stuff. That's right. No ice. Good. That's good. That's just fine. So let's get this show on the road. I know what I said, but I'll just have one. That tastes good. Okay, let's go. Let's get this over with. Only afterwards, don't anyone stand close to an open window.